Penrith in Queenstown Market Drive is a brand new condo launch 7 years after the last new launch in the area. Today we'll go through 3 potential shortcomings of the project everyone needs to know before putting down your hard-earned money for this condo. I also cover a brief on the project and 3 reasons why buyers like this project. Hi, I'm Kai. I help clients with property planning and investments, and I share my analysis here so that more people can understand the property market better. So do contact me if you need professional advice on personalized property planning and investment consultation. Penrith is rather special. It is in a very central and convenient location. Most of the time when we are talking about central area condos, they are often in a concrete jungle, where everywhere you see there are tall buildings, and it's very dense. So certain types of buyers do not like this kind of lifestyle. However, for Penrith, it is at the perimeter of this busyness. Because it is just next to Dempsey Hill, so we do have a very good unblocked view for certain stacks. So we can say that this is the best of both worlds, where location is very central without needing to live in the heart of a very congested area. For this video, I'll go through the following: the project brief, the 3 potential shortcomings, and 3 reasons why people want to buy Penrith. I will include timestamp in the description below. So next time, if you revisit this video, you can go straight to the chapter that you want. Okay, first up is the project brief. Queenstown is one of the oldest estates in Singapore. It's constantly being rejuvenated and new buildings are being built. So you can see from the 2 pictures here, there's a very big contrast from the old Queenstown and the newer Queenstown. However, people still consider Queenstown as a mature estate. And I mentioned before, the previous launch was Sterling Residences, which was launched in 2018 when the cooling measure was being rolled out. Penrith is in District 3 Queenstown. There are 2 blocks, 70 and 72 at Margaret Drive. Developer is a consortium of Hong Leong and Guacoland. There are 2 blocks of 40 stories, and there's an early childhood development center. We have 462 units. We do not have 1-bedroom units. There's only 2-bedroom onwards, 3-bedroom and 4 bedrooms. The car park is 81% at 376 lots. The number of available car park lot is something that we really need to look into, especially for condo with a lot of bigger units like 3, 4 and 5-bedroom units. And this one is one of them where the 2-bedroom units are only consist about 30%. The rest are 3 and 4-bedroom units. Okay, here's the location. Queenstown MRT station is here. It is a 4 minutes walk to the Queenstown MRT station, about 300 meters away. Okay, here's a good Earth perspective and where the blocks will be. Okay, this is overlooking the Dempsey Hill area. Very nice view. For each block, there's only 6 units. In today's market, it's quite rare because a lot of time we see actually per lift lobby, it serves about minimum 8 units. So this one will have a bit more exclusivity. And we do have a tennis court here. The pool is very nice. I'll quickly go through the floor plans because most of the layouts are all quite standard. So this one is a 2-bed 1 bath with an open kitchen, 2-bed 2 bath with a tuck-in kitchen. Okay, this is a 3-bedroom with an enclosed kitchen without the storeroom. And this one is another 3-bedroom with an enclosed kitchen. This one is a 3-bedroom premium where we have a storeroom and a helper's WC. I like this concept because the wall here, there's potential to be knocked down, so you can either make it as a helper's room where the entrance comes in from the kitchen, or as a study where you want the entrance to be facing the living area. This is a bigger 3-bedroom. Main difference is the kitchen is bigger and the living area is also bigger. For the 4-bedroom, this is a very common 4-bedroom layout. Enclosed kitchen, there's a storeroom, a helper's toilet. One of the downside for this is that there's only 1 common toilet to be shared among 3 common bedrooms. Generally, for people who can afford it, I would advise to get a bigger one with additional bathroom so that there's no need to rush in the morning. So this is a bigger one. It comes with additional toilet. All the bedrooms are ensuite. There's a Jack and Jill here, ensuite with the 2 bathrooms. This one is another one ensuite. So total 3 bathrooms. And the other thing to take note is that the living space is a landscape layout, which is a bit more preferred because more lights come in. The only downside is that for people who really don't like balcony, the balcony is a bit bigger compared to the smaller 4-bedroom. Price-wise, just take note that the price is unofficial price guide and this is not by the developer or the agency. This is just my own calculation projected from the land price and construction costs. Do get in touch at the number above if you want to be updated on the latest price, because generally the price will be only confirmed a few days before the preview date. Now we'll go to the 3 potential project shortcomings for this project. Every condo will have its own shortcoming, but this shortcoming might not be a deal breaker for some buyers, but it really does matter for certain group of buyers. So before buying, you need to understand these shortcomings so that you know whether they will affect you. So what are the potential issues of this new launch, Penrith at Queenstown? First, there's a lot of 2-bedroom competition in the area. This is a map of the area. The condos that are being circled are the newer condos whereby the layout are more similar and the direct competition to Penrith next time. For buyers who are looking at 2-bedroom units to rent out in future, you have to know that the tenants normally work in the city area. So when they look for property, they will look nearer to city area, maybe in the River Valley area. Let's say if their budget is not enough, they'll come down to Red Hill. And if their budget is still a bit lower, then they'll come to Queenstown. And still, if their budget cannot allow them to get a unit next to an MRT station, they will go a bit further away to Penrith. But there are certain tenants who will also like Penrith because it's at a quiet corner and it's still in a very convenient location. But generally, we look at it, most tenants will actually prioritize a slightly more convenient location. So the developer also know about this. Therefore, they only allocate 33% of the units to the smaller 2-bedroom units. This is enough for the homestay unit, and there will be lesser unit left over for the investors and keep the number of tenanted units limited to help to stabilize the price. We can see the unit distribution here. The 2 bedrooms only make up about 33% of the unit. The potential issue number 2, there's no famous primary school in the area, but take note that not all the condos need a good primary school to sell. One example would be Springleaf, which now is already 90% sold because not everyone has primary school going kids. People who do not have kids and other people who have more mature kids or people who are not so particular about primary schools. However, do take note that actually Penrith is in the education belt. We have primary schools in the area, secondary schools, Crescent Girls, private education institutions. We have universities, NUS, SIT, INSEAD, we have Singapore Poly, and Junior College, the famous one in Dover area, Anglo-Chinese, Junior and Anglo-Chinese School, which is a secondary school. Very, very difficult to get in. Besides that, in the Dover area, we also have the international school clusters. We have the two famous ones are the Tanglin Trust School and the United World College, Dover. So essentially in this area, we can go from cradle to university. So most of the people who come into this area, as long as they are not so particular about the primary school, they can stay on until the children graduate from university. Another potential issue is that this being a 40-story condo, the price loading for the high floor 2-bedroom units might be a bit too high for some of the category of buyers. Okay, what do I mean? In a condo, there are normally 2 types of buyers. One is own-stay buyers, another will be investors looking to rent out after TOP. Own-stay buyers are generally willing to pay a bit more for higher floors. For investors, we have short-term investors who are looking to offload at TOP and long-term investors who are looking to hold and rent out after TOP. These people are very sensitive to numbers, so in future, if you buy a 2-bedroom high-floor unit, a long-term investor might not feel that it is worth the money for a super high-floor unit because the price for the rental difference might not reflect the purchase price. So when you want to exit next time, you're only left with own-stay buyers. The developer also understands this, therefore they only plan for 33% of the units, which are the smaller 2-bedroom units. So by keeping the supply low, this will match the potential lower demand next time and net out these negative effects. So the developer are being smart here. They reduce the number of 2-bedroom units and they solve 2 issues down here. One is the point that we went through earlier, whereby there are a lot of 2-bedroom competition in the area. Secondly, the high floor units might not be so easy to clear for investors. We have gone through the 3 potential shortcomings. Every condo is not perfect because if it is perfect, the price will also be perfect. So generally, we have to find a condo where the shortcomings does not affect us in the lifestyle sense and in financial sense where we want to exit. If you need professional advice to help to find a property that suits you, do contact me at the number above. I'll be more than happy to have a chat. So what are the 3 big reasons that buyers like Penrith at Queenstown Market Drive? First will be the entry price. Let's look at the surrounding resale prices. Nearby, we have Margaret View, which is a bit different. This one is a smaller development. A closer match will be Sterling Residence. The average per square feet is 2,367. Take note that this is a pre-harmonization price. So if you convert to post-harmonization, we are looking at about 2,532 per square feet. So if compared to Penrith, we are having a starting price of estimate of 2,006 per square feet. This is very comparable considering that the age of this condo is a good 7 years apart, meaning that Penrith will be about 7 years younger than Sterling Residences. How about the similar new launch prices? So Alta in Clementi, the price is actually very near to a more central area, 2006 in Penrith. Okay, Lindenwood is further away. There's not a lot of amenities in Lindenwood except for a mall beside. The price is close to 2,005 per square feet average. So you can see that Penrith having a better location and amenities suitable for locals. And Penrith being a more central area, the price premium is very small. So if they really launch at this price, we think that it is going to be a very good buy. How about the future launch price? The land cost is 1,154 per square feet per plot ratio. Let's compare it with the land price of the upcoming units. We can see that the Dunnan GLS is 1,004 already. Chuan Grove is 1,300 plus. This one is very similar. Okay, Holland Plain is 1,004. Bayshore is 1,388 per square feet per plot ratio. The developer for Penrith actually entered at a very good price, and if they really reflect this low entry price in the final selling price, then the buyers really need to pay attention to this launch. Let's come to the second reason why people like Penrith: scarcity. The last launch was Sterling Residence 7 years ago. So there's really a big gap between the previous launch and this current launch. So there's not a lot of condos around. And the other thing to take note is there's a bit of shortage of big units because the newer resale condo in the area, they are launched at a time whereby most of the developers are paying a lot of attention to the 1 and 2 bedroom units, and the ratio of these units are very big. We can see that for the existing condos, 70% are small units versus 30% for Penrith. So that we can see that actually there is a good opportunity for the big units at Penrith to fill in this gap. The next point is that in the area, there's a shortage of units which are more spacious, and some of the resale condo layouts are really quite bad. Okay, example will be this. So this is in Queen's Peak. One thing is that the balcony is very odd shaped. There's very little you can do. You cannot really put a table. There's this empty space here, which I really don't know what it's for. And for a 3-bedroom with utility, they have an open concept kitchen, which is really not something that a lot of buyers like. And the killer is that actually the bedrooms are very small. Common bedrooms are very small. Can only put in a single bed and not enough space for a table. Similar situation at the 4-bedroom. The balcony is very odd shaped. The 2 common bedrooms are very small. And the thing I really have an issue is that there's a family area here, living here, dining here. So it's like a zigzag kind of layout, which I feel is very weird. Let's go to the third reason why buyers like Penrith, the exit strategy. Historically, we see that District 3 has seen very good growth. The average price growth of 4.98% per annum, which is actually higher than District 5 nearby. And we can see that the most recent launch, Sterling Residence, after it launched, actually the price gap with Commonwealth Towers widens over the years to 13%. The rentals transaction is very healthy. Let's focus on the 2-bedroom because more of the buyers will be looking to rent out the 2 bedrooms. Commonwealth Towers, there are 82 rental contracts for the 2-bedroom for the past 12 months. Sterling Residences, we have 148 units rented out in the past 12 months. Queen's Peak, we have 207 units of transaction in the past 12 months. So you can see that there's a very strong rentability in the area. There's a lot of HDBs that are going to MOP, and these are very high value properties. A lot of them cross the $1 million mark. You can see here, for Gilmore and Dawson, for the 4-bedroom units already crossed $1 million. The 5-bedroom units highest transacted is 1.65 million, average is 1.22 million. You can see that the current record highest price for HDB sold is in Market Drive, 1.73 million. So we have no lack of healthy stream of future buyers down the road when you want to exit. To sum up, one of the big reasons why people like Penrith, besides the central location, the entry price is very good. So when you already enter at a lower price, next time it's easy to get a profit. When you want to cash out your profit, when you want to exit, it's easy to exit because there are no shortage of future buyers who have a lot of money when they sell their $1 million MOP HDBs. Hope my sharing helped you understand more on this project. If you want to get the preview priority pricing or need information like price, floor plans or e-brochures, do contact me at the number below. And I am involved in all the new launches in Singapore. Because of the nature of new launch, information are not readily available until very near the launch date. So if you want the latest information on any new launch, I can help to keep you updated so that you do not miss out on important launches. I can also advise on which launch and which units in that launch suits your unique requirement and your budget. Just get in touch at the number below. Once again, I'm Kai. See you in the next video.